What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? It says I'm live. There's little red lines. I'm not sure if I am fully live. Do you see yourself? Do you see yourself over there? It's a very interesting Benni.
Look how she's looking at herself.
She's like, I was going to eat, but what are you looking at? You beautiful, beautiful girl. What is going on, world?
Hey, look at that. Morphs is on.
We're Morphs. Go figure. We're on. It's awesome. Well, guys, it is Monday night. It is, what time is it, babe?
10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. We're on the East Coast. We're all the way over here in New Hampshire, and we're just hanging out with Benni as normal. I don't know if you guys can see her. She's down there a little bit, a little Benni action right there, getting some num-nums and hanging out with us and having a good time. Oh, I messed it all up.
Why'd you mess with that?
I'm that guy. I'm definitely a guy. You feeling good now? You getting your greens? Benni is a sweet girl. She's one of our rescue girls. So it's really good. Actually, talk about Benni for a minute. Benni is not an animal that we rescued.
No, she's not.
She's really not. She came from an absolutely wonderful young lady named Taylor. Did I say it right?
Correct.
I always say Tyler. I always say something else. Do you remember Taylor? She was sweet to you, huh? She came from a wonderful, wonderful girl named Taylor. She went ahead and rescued her, and then Benni came over to us. So we're just super excited to have her here. She's warmed up super quickly to us, and she's just fantastic. She's everything you would want a green iguana to be. She is amazing. She is a hungry, hungry hippo. And by that, I mean a super hungry iguana. You're stepping on the edge. When you step on the edge, Benni, it comes up a little bit. Is that part of your master plan so you don't have to bend down as much? Is that your master plan right now? Sticking your tongue out? What are you doing? She's taking a look at that screen. She's not too sure about it, but she's doing pretty good right there.
Tell them about her lip.
Yeah, so when we got her from the individual who rescued her, she took her out of apparently a very bad situation. So Benni lived in an attic in New Hampshire, and she lived in something of a bird cage. I never saw the bird cage, but Taylor, the individual who rescued her, told me about it. So she lived in a bird cage, from what I understand, with no real heat. I'm sure there was some heat that went up into the attic area. So I think the age, I think we're undecided, right, babe? We don't know exactly Benni's age. She's 3 or 4 or 5 or
something like that.
Somewhere between 3 to 5 years old. And she's awesome. She lived in some pretty rough circumstances. She's going through shed right now, which is not a bad thing. She was a little bit of a chunker. I will say that much when we got her. She was a bit of a chunker. She likes the food. But like I said, she had a little damage to her tongue. You can see that part right up front, right here. Show him, Benni. There you go, right there. Exactly there. That beautiful triangle right there. That had to be removed, and she actually lost part of her tail, which we'll show you in a little bit once she kind of finishes having some of her chow here. But she's great. She's going to be one of our ambassadors, and she'll go out and she'll work with folks, and she has, honestly, the best disposition. She's definitely one of my faves. As far as lizards go, she is definitely my fave, and she knows it. As she's stopping and she's looking at me, she goes, "Who, me?"
Mm-hmm.
It's you, Benni. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. What do you think? What do you hear, huh? You good? You my buddy? It's really cool. We've been working with the progression of getting her used to us and just getting to know us. And at this point, we'll literally be walking through the house, or we'll be letting her roam. We let her free roam for a bit. We kind of started that a little bit slowly and then worked our way up to that. And she gets to the point where she comes up and she'll single me out, and she'll come up, crawl up my leg, come up on my shoulder. And I think Benni thinks she's part parrot, and she'll just hang out there, which is a super, super cool thing. And it's super fun too. So guys, if you see this later, this was just an impromptu thing. We got some hearts there. Thank you out there in the world, whoever threw that up there. I really appreciate that. And Benni appreciates that because she's beautiful and she deserves hearts. What do you think, Benni? Benni's not too sure about this. She's looking over and she's interested. There always is the danger with iguanas that she might go over and she might actually cancel the stream, guys. So if she does so, this is kind of a test thing. We have something that we want to do. And we've had 1 or 2 successes with it, but we're really refining on how we want to do it. It's called Morphs Monday. And we want to talk to you guys about whatever you want to talk about it. We want the community to be in charge of it. Obviously, we'll go ahead and we'll put it on, and you guys can comment, you can put messages in there, and we'll answer everything that we can. And also, if you do see this, subscribe to us so you know what's going on. And Benny's moving around a little bit, so you guys might get a close-up. You might get a little zoom function from her. You can see my hand petting there, but there she is. There's the back of her neck. But she's just checking it out. She's trying to figure out what's going on over there. And, of course, Brenda's behind the other side of the computer. So she's thinking about crawling on her and messing up her hair. She's pretty good at that. But let's see. Babe, what are some subjects that have come up recently? We've had a lot of people ask about what? About quarantine stuff. What else?
Proper husbandry.
Proper husbandry for different animals. I guess let's talk about that. Let's just chat. I'm gonna chat away like a chatty Cathy because I am. No sponsorship from this energy drink brand here, guys. So what is quarantine? What is setting up a brand new animal in your home? What does that look like? I do recommend quarantining every animal that you bring into your house. It's something I've believed in for a long time. And what quarantine is it's really just talking about, it's not like you see on like the movies Outbreak and all these things. And I think a lot of us have somewhat an idea of quarantine, especially everything that we've seen. But what you do is when you bring a new animal into your collection or into your home, whether it's your first animal, whether it's your 50th animal, you set up quarantine. And quarantine is setting it up in a controlled environment where you can observe. That's really all quarantine is. It's all about being able to find out what's going on and reading the situation. I did a quick tip little video on it. And some of the important things about quarantine is I don't recommend quarantining an animal in its permanent enclosure, especially if it's going to be cohabiting with another animal. I recommend doing it in a more controlled, more sterile enclosure when you can take notice, hey, mama, and you can basically go ahead and track what's going on, whether you're tracking the actual digestive system of the animal, whether you're tracking her food consumption, possibly, or his food consumption, or whoever's food consumption, or water consumption. Also, quarantine, when you have something that's not your permanent enclosure, it's great to do that with a substrate like paper towel. And the reason for that is if you've ever dripped like spaghetti sauce or something on the counter, and you remember those Bounty commercials, you would go to wipe it up and you would see that big bubble and came out to look like the color of Bounty. Basically, it's going to fluoresce everything that's going on. It's going to show you exactly what's going on in the animal, what's happening in their digestive tract, and what you can expect to see from them. And that's a great way to see things like intestinal parasites. Those are things that you want to be able to identify, because once you can identify, you can contact a local veterinarian, and you can get those taken care of so you can have a long, happy, healthy life with your animal. So that's why I recommend that. Some people like to use newsprint and stuff like that. If you like newsprint, that's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and use newsprint. I just use paper towel. I find that to be the absolute easiest way to go ahead and do that. But find out what works for you. Newsprint, paper towel. I don't recommend doing shavings, anything with dust, anything that could kind of set the animal off or change the animal's habits. I wouldn't go that route. Are you starting to get comfortable now, moms? And then once you get that going on, again, you're going to want clean water, shallow water dish. You're going to want to provide, obviously, the food. You're going to always monitor food, especially if you're dealing with like a snake or an insectivore. You're going to want to see them eat if at all possible. And herbivores too, right? We want to see and make sure our new babies are doing basically what I call standard signs of life. And that would be eating. That would be drinking. Just so you guys know, she just found her 4-foot cork bark and she's going to perch herself. So I don't know if we can get a quick shot over here, but yeah. Yeah, she's going for a walkabout. She thinks she's Crocodile Dundee. We're gonna let her do her thing. But yeah, the signs of life. You want to make sure they're eating, they're drinking, they're going to the bathroom normal. Did you change your mind? Do you want to come up here? Make sure all those things are happening. Make sure we don't have discharge of any kind. So discharge could be in a lot of things. It could be any kind of fluid that's going on. It could be from the eyes. It could be from the digestive tract. You just want to make sure, basically, they're super healthy. And that's the idea. The white paper towel, a sterile tub. I didn't mention that. You want, for snakes, I recommend a tub, something with a locking top. You have to make sure it's properly ventilated and it's able to accept a heat pad as your heat source with a thermostat to make sure they're okay. Obviously, if you're dealing with a lizard that's larger like Benni, you're going to want a much larger enclosure. And sometimes you're locked into using the enclosure they're actually going to live in. But you can use some of those key factors. You can put down substrate as far as paper towels go, and you can monitor their discharge, so everything that's coming out of them, and make sure basically everything's going in right, going out right. And usually you do that for 21 to 30 days. I think the most common way to do it is 30 days, which is pretty standard. It's pretty good stuff. Guys, definitely, if you have any comments about this, if you're interested in any of these topics or whatever topics you have, let us know. Send us a message. Check us out on Morphs and Milestones, because we want to make this, like I said, about you guys. And I didn't even talk about us, did I? I didn't talk about, jeez, who's this weird bearded guy from the Northeast in a blue shirt? So, we're Morphs and Milestones. We're a nonprofit based out of New Hampshire. And what we do is we use primarily rescue and rehabilitated reptiles, and we use them as therapy aids and sometimes even as educational aids to work with folks. And what that means is we actually take these animals and we help rehab them, or we take them from rehabbers to lighten their load. And we help folks out there all over the place. We have a very special focus on Morphs and Milestones. Is we'd like to work with individuals with special needs. And we do that because that's how we built our program. And it can be anything ranging from learning disabilities to PTSD, to different forms of anxiety that aren't in that exact format. We like to just bring the joy and the love of animals and that kinship that you get when you're with them. We like to bring that to everybody who likes and feels excited about being with them. We also work with local professionals. So what I mean by professionals is we work with individuals in vet sciences, teaching institutions, and we expose them as well to some of our reptiles and give them the opportunity to learn about something that they may not normally see. A lot of these folks see cats and dogs every day, sometimes a hamster, sometimes a bird, but you don't always see a green iguana, especially here in New Hampshire. And the more exposure they get, the more knowledge they get. And the more knowledge they get, better things become. People become used to things and they become able to deal with things, which is truly, truly an exciting thing. So that's what we do. We've been around for about a year and a half. We are a registered nonprofit with the state of New Hampshire. And something big. All our services, to whenever we're doing anything therapy-based, educational-based, it's all free of charge. We get some donations made to us, which is a wonderful thing that helps it go and get ahead and get funded. But we never ask for any monetary demand or any monetary amount. We're all about just spreading the word and having positive interactions. And I am watching Brenda pet Benni over there on the nose, because she's decided that she is way better at this moment now that I have run out of leafy greens, which is okay. I can understand. The greens are good. But guys, thank you so much. If you made it all the way through this video and heard me rambling, please leave a comment. Let me know what you would like to see from us. What kind of animals you would like to see. We have a bunch of different types of snakes. We got a few different types of lizards. I got some tortoise guys upstairs that we can interact with and we can talk about. Tell me what you guys want to see, or maybe share an experience you had, and I would love to talk about that next Monday. Until then, guys, thank you so much for your support. We love you guys, and keep life emotional and exciting, and can't wait to see you next Monday. Bye now. All right, guys. Take care.